Are you rolling? Right on. Hey guys, welcome back. Darrell Lutz from castironworkouts.com. Today I got Mike with me as usual. No Rachel today. Rachel's out on assignment, and we have a guest today. We have Ramon from East Bay Beer Runners. I'm going to let Ramon introduce himself and tell us a little bit about himself before we start or get rolling with my list of questions here that I got for him, and we'll just kind of roll from there. So Ramon.
Yeah, thanks for having me. So East Bay Beer Runners is exactly what it sounds like. We go for a run. We meet at a bar, brewery, mostly all in Oakland, sometimes Berkeley, explore outside of that on occasion. Run anywhere between a 5K, which is 3.1 miles, to 5 miles. But, I mean, really people can run as much or as little as they want. We meet back at that brewery or bar, enjoy some drinks together.
Cool, man. And how long have you guys been doing it?
So let's see, this October, November timeframe, that'll be about 5 years.
Right on. How many members do you guys have, or how many roughly?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to gauge that. We have a meetup.com page, and there are 4,500 members, I believe. I'd have to double check that.
Wow.
Obviously, we don't have 4,500 people showing up at the bar. That would not be good. But yeah, I mean, we get about 100 people per event on a nice day. You know, if it's raining, we might see like 30 to
40. Okay, that's cool, man. That's cool. And how did this whole start, right? How did it start?
Yeah,
how was it your idea? Was it like a group of people that just kind of said, "Hey, man, would this be cool?" And then like, how did it grow?
So it's almost embarrassing in a way. It was Instagram account. All I did was post about running and beer, and that was it. And for whatever reason, people wanted to follow me for that. So I'd have people, they would message me like, "Hey, do you want to go for a run sometime?" Eventually, one guy, he was pretty persistent. He had his own running club. It was called Run with Gabe. I looked at his profile. I was like, all right, he seems like a pretty okay guy. I'll go for a run with him. Eventually, he said, how about we start our own running club, just beer and running related? And I said, okay, let's give it a shot. And eventually from there, we turned into East Bay Beer Runners.
Okay, cool. That's cool, man. So running, how long have you been running?
Actually I started as a soccer player. So, I was doing that as a kid, 6 years old, every single year, just out there on the field. Eventually I had to get a job because, I'm not going to be a pro soccer player. That realization came around high school sometime.
Right.
So once that happened, I was like, all right, I guess I might just run without chasing the ball. Stack the miles on. So probably, I've only been running a lot of miles in the last 5 years or so.
Okay. And races, are you somebody who goes out and does races, or are you just running for fun?
Definitely doing races. Unfortunately, right now, not doing that.
Right.
We were actually at the last big marathon, which is LA Marathon in March. And, we were actually kind of laughing about this whole thing, like 6 feet apart. How are we going to do that during the marathon? And, we had a sign that aged like milk. It said 6 feet apart or 6 feet under. Now we look back on that, like, we probably shouldn't have had that sign out there. Once races do kick back up, I'm going to start looking at tackling a marathon again. Those aren't fun, but I want to get it done. I want to be able to qualify for Boston one of these days.
Okay.
Otherwise, anything from a 5K to the full distance. Haven't really dabbled with ultras yet.
Okay. What's your favorite distance?
Actually kind of like a 5K. I feel like I'm actually racing because I'm just running hard at that point. I do have a chance, depending on the field, to actually win. So, it's got to be a weak field, but it's a possibility.
Cool, man. That's cool. Yeah, they, taking your running from, just going out and doing it for exercise or for fun or, however you're doing it, to going into a race, mm-hmm. It's a whole different ball game, right?
Yeah, I mean, you get adrenaline, crowd support. It's, I don't know how to describe it. I mean, you actually have people cheering you on just for running. That feels good.
Yeah, I know for me, like my first take of that was a 5K that I did here in town, and it was when I first started running. My wife talked me, and I sign up and do a 5K. I'm like, I can barely run 3 miles. Like, you want me to race it? And I went out, and it was like that adrenaline shot, and it was like I was fucking flying.
Right.
I'm going, and then finish the race, and I was like, holy crap, I'm done. I'm toast. I'm smoked. It's just such a different thing. I guess it's like competition at any level with any sport, right? Where you're getting that huge adrenaline bump and then that dump afterwards.
And the problem is dialing that down during a marathon. Because, you do that first mile, you're flying out the gates like, wait a minute, I got 25 more of these to go.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's hard. I know that was, I've done a couple 6-hour races, and the first one I did, I don't know if you know Point Pinole. I was out at Point Pinole, and it's a little hilly, through the eucalyptus trees there. And I came out hot, and I'm like, we were doing like a 3.5 mile loop, and I come through that first one, and I'm like, looking at my watch, I'm like, I ran that way too fast.
Yeah, you still got a ways to go.
Oh my God!
Also, you have anxiety while you're running. You're like, that's the last thing you want.
Right. Cool. So with East Bay Beer Runners, you kind of watch this thing grow, and I'm sure you guys get like people from all different walks of life, and you got people that have all different types of running experience and background. Tell us a little bit about like I don't know if it's you call them members or the people that just come out and join you guys. Like, what type of diversity you guys have?
Yeah, I mean, we're very diverse. The thing is, a lot of people, they hear run club, and that's intimidating. The first thing they're going to ask is, well, will I be fast enough to keep up with you guys? Then I remind them, I was like, you do realize beer isn't our name. And, that changes everything. Yeah, you're right. So the thing is, when you have 100 people out there, you're going to find somebody within your pace. You're not going to be left alone. Of course, when, we're brand new, we had to be cautious of that. There might be somebody on the slower end or faster. And then, I'm out there on a Tuesday night, like I did not plan to run this fast tonight. I'm just trying to keep up with the lead person. And then, like I said, on the other hand, you have the sweeper, the guy in the back that's just possibly walking with that last person. But yeah, all levels of running and drinking experience. We see these people that are, they have never raced a 5K. They haven't ran a mile before. And we just encourage them to get out there. Like, if you want to run around the block, do it. As long as you're trying, that's all we really want.
That's cool. That's cool, man. And that was something I had on here too, was just, kind of asking you, somebody who has a lot of experience or sees a lot of different people that are coming out, and they're just starting out running. Like, what's some tips you can give people that would help somebody that's just getting into running or just wants to start? Like, I
mean, really just start. Don't think too much into it. You're going to figure out a lot on your own. The other day I went kayaking for the first time by myself, and I was intimidated. I saw these other, like, this rowing team. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Just, you have this boat. I'm like, I don't know how to get off the dock. So, I waited for them to get out. And I was thinking with running, though, it doesn't really matter. If you have a pair of shoes, just get out there and run. Anybody that makes fun of you for running, they're an asshole.
Right.
Right. I probably should have applied that same thing, but, with a kayak, I could drown. That's not going to happen with running. Really just get out there. If you want to ask for feedback with our group, people are going to be happy to offer it. Otherwise, it's a pretty easy sport to get into. Literally, come with some shorts, shirt, whatever, pair of running shoes, and you're good to go.
Yeah, that's cool, man. It's funny because, running, I get a lot of the same stuff like you were just talking about here, like at the gym, and like Mike was saying, and he can speak up on this in a sec, but I'll get people that are like, hey, man, I want to come into your gym. I want to start working out. I want to start doing classes, but I need to get in shape first. Or, it's like, no.
That's why you're coming, right?
Yeah, that's why you're showing up here, And I know Mike had even said that, like when he was pushing to get back to the gym, he's like, man, I got to get some running in or something and do something before I come see you, But yeah, so it's kind of similar in that way. And it's funny, and, I tell people the same thing. They're like, how do I get better? Because I get asked a lot, how do you get better at running? Because I run a lot. And I said, well, you just have to do it. Like, it's going to be hard when you start, just like it is here at the gym, and it's going to be uncomfortable, and you just kind of got to get past it.
Yeah, it is rewarding because, like I said, you see these people have no running experience whatsoever. Next thing I know, they're running half marathons, and they initially came. They're like, I just wanted to drink some beers with some people because it's hard to make friends these days, and now I'm signing up for half marathons. So that does feel good. I'm not just contributing to their drinking. It's like they're actually setting that a little bit.
Cool. Over the years, right, we were talking kind of about races and stuff, and like, how did your race, like for you personally, how did your race history start, and where did it start, and like at this point, like how many races have you done? Like,
that's tough. I think the first actual race I did was with my wife. I was just running. I wasn't training for anything. Just trying to stay healthy. Once you get married, I guess you're supposed to get fat, is what they say. I was like, I don't want that to happen. So she was out training for a half marathon, and it was one of those Nike women's marathons where you get like a Tiffany necklace at the end. I was like, all right, I guess my first race is going to be a half marathon, and I'm going to get a Tiffany's necklace. Perfect. So Yeah, I guess that was my first race, and I was like, 13.1 miles. That's a long time, And but after that, yeah, I just started. I was like, I wonder what I can actually do this at if I trained for it. So starting the levels, I think a lot of people make the mistake that I did. It's like I might just go straight for something larger, a half marathon or a full marathon. Probably best to work your way up. Like you look at those collegiate athletes, they take a long time before they even attempt a marathon. They're in their late 20s. They're used to those middle distance races. So yeah, I think what I did originally, I'd probably do a lot of 5Ks to begin with, and then started dabbling with 10Ks and half marathons. And now I might race 1 to 2 times a year. Yeah, because I think speed will just kill you in the end if you're racing too much. For me, anyway. I mean, I see these guys racing every weekend, and I don't know how they do it.
Right. That was Iron Cowboy. I don't know if you know that Iron Cowboy, James Lawrence. He's somebody that I interviewed for my book, and he did 21. God, now I'm going to screw it up. He did like 20 some odd like marathons or ultras like every weekend in a row.
Okay.
And it was just like this brutal. Mike, grab my book.
What's his name?
James Lawrence, the Iron Cowboy. But yeah, just, you hear about people like that and, just knowing how much like races, like you talk about that adrenaline dump and like how much stress you're putting on the body and you're running faster than you normally would. And it's like, holy shit, how do you recover from that?
Right.
And I think, like you said, I think a lot of people, I think you're dead on with a lot of people trying to push that competition too much. Oh, hey man, you're the producer. You're supposed to find it in here for me. Right. Yeah. So, with
Completed 50 Ironman triathlons in 50 consecutive days across 50 states.
That's insane.
Yeah, no, I can't remember, man.
What was that?
It put me on the spot there, Drew.
That was
drew
the
a blank.
highlight, right?
Yeah, it was 50 in a row, and it was the Ironmans.
I don't even want to drive that distance. I mean,
right, dude. And you think about like the toll on a body. Like you've run marathons, right? And think about how you feel for that week after.
yeah, not great.
Yeah, and dude, same thing. Like I said, I remember my first 6-hour race. Like I got in the car. I don't remember the car ride home. My wife's driving me, and like I'm just beat up.
Right.
Like just beat up, and then woke up the next day. I'm like,
Feel even worse.
oh my god. Yeah, it was the only thing I could relate it to was like from like when I played football, where you have like a really hard game, just getting hammered, beat up, and feeling like that. Combined with finishing a powerlifting competition, because I've done that as well. And it's just like this, I felt like a bag of crap, and it felt that way for like 3 or 4 days, So I can't imagine do that for 50 in a row. Mike's over there looking at it on his phone like, holy shit.
It's crazy.
So why do you run? Like right now, like what's your main motivator to run?
I can give you that cliche answer of, running is therapy or whatever, which is great. It definitely does help. There's that, the endorphins going, especially during a pandemic. I got more free time now. Although it is tricky because now, you're supposed to run with this mask on, and running is hard enough as it is, but now when you can't breathe, good luck with that.
Right.
But why do I run? I guess I mostly just get some routine in my life that's healthy. There's definitely a point where you run too much, but yeah, I run to stay healthy and really offset the beer. If I really cared, I'd cut this out, but I don't think it's worth it at that point. But yeah, it's staying healthy plus community. The running community is great. That's why we have this run club.
Yeah, that's one thing, man, that I know I've noticed. And I was telling the story to Mike and Rachel and our last guest, my buddy Keith. I don't think I said it on the podcast. We were talking afterwards, and runners are always cool. Everybody's like, every race that I've done, everybody's super supportive, especially like the longer races, right? You get people that are out there for 6, 12, 24 hours, and, marathons, these people are going to be grinding for, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hours, whatever it is. And I don't think I've come across somebody who's a dick.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
trying to trip you on the course or something.
Right. Or somebody who's not giving you a smile or a head nod or supportive, and like I said, I've competed in Olympic lifting and powerlifting and, competed in those and coached those. Like, people that are just assholes.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. And it's just a different, I said it to Rachel, is my favorite thing is like, we'll finish a powerlifting competition or a super total competition, which is combined Olympic and power. And I say it every time. I say it to Rachel. I've said it to my wife. I'm like, these aren't my people. You know, and what I mean by that is, like, don't get me wrong, like, a lot of these people are cool, but overall, like, it's just a different crowd, right? It's just a different vibe. It's kind of
more of the competitive element, or
yeah, I think part of it's competitive. Yeah, it probably has to do more with the competitive side. Like, for me, like, I get in something like that, like, I'm not about it to go out. I don't care if I beat you.
Sure.
I'm trying to PR.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and it's I think you get more of that in the running community, right? And I was telling the story. We did the New Year's one day in San Francisco. My wife and I signed up for the 6. They had a 12. They had a 24-hour. And there's these two, I believe they're Japanese. If I'm wrong, I apologize. These two little Japanese girls that were signed up for the 24-hour race. So everybody's got a race bib on. It's got your name, which race you're doing, 6, 12 to 24. And after the first half hour out at Chrissy Field, you can switch directions, right? And you're running a 1 mile loop for that time. So these chicks are, you know, they are runners. They're small. Like, I don't look like a runner on the course. Like, people are looking at me like, what the fuck are you doing out here? And these chicks are passing me by at like the 5 hour mark, and I look like I'm just, like, somebody hit me in the head with a hammer, right? And they're running by. They're like, great job, Darrell, smiling. I'm like, oh my God, thank you, but I hate you right now. Like, shut up.
Are you mocking me?
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, I feel like you're being mean. Like, I'm going to go tell somebody. Yeah. But it's just everybody's supportive, man. And it's pretty cool. You know, it's a pretty cool community, and it's fun. It's fun for sure. So talking about running, we're going to kind of transition here because I got something that I was told I'm supposed to bring up.
Yeah, let's hear it.
So you like challenges, I hear.
Yeah, absolutely.
I hear that you had a taco challenge.
Oh, yeah.
So let's talk about, because I'm a taco fan. I don't know if you saw the taco flag that's hanging in the office.
I did see the taco flag.
Or I can't.
Tacos are forever.
Tacos are forever. Okay, so this is where Ramon and I bond. Tell me about the tacos.
I mean, unless if you're a taco snob, you might look down upon me. But
bro, I don't discriminate.
Okay, great.
I don't discriminate.
I went for quantity over quality on this one.
Okay.
So I think it was like 2007 or something. My buddy was like, "You're skinny." I'm like, "Yeah, I run a lot. That's kind of what happens." And he goes, "You know, everyone always wants to have this New Year's resolution to get in shape or whatever. I think you should put on some pounds." I'm like, "Yeah, why not? I could try." You know, and he goes, "You should try to eat 500 tacos in a year." So sounded like a fun challenge to me.
Yeah.
And, you know, in the grand scheme of things, it's not that bad. Because, you know, 500 tacos, yeah, it seems like a lot, but it's like just over a taco a day, taco and a half. But there were some challenges. You know, I traveled to Europe for a few weeks, and they don't have tacos over there.
So, but you know what? That's some bullshit.
Yeah. You know, it's like,
I don't know who we need to talk to about this, Mike. But
Spain.
Yeah.
I mean, you think Spain would
These guys are assholes.
Push their influence a little bit.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, can we step our game up, guys? Like, that's some bullshit. Anyways, sorry.
No, it's a good point. But yeah, so I think I finished my 500th taco without even realizing, because, you know, you just get caught in that euphoria of enjoying a taco, and you're like, oh my God, I just missed the milestone taco. Like, I'm already at 505, you know, and yeah, so that was a good year.
That's cool, man. That's cool. Yeah, I'm a taco. I mean, I was a taco guy. I've kind of ditched a lot of the carbs, but I will still go for a taco occasionally. That's yeah, I've put myself in food coma many times with tacos. Last time we had a gym, we had a workout. So I did like a Saturday. We came in and we did kind of an in-house competition. Not the Clang and Bang. This is one where we're in the old spot over here. And we had a potluck after and I said, well, shoot, what should I have everybody bring? And Rachel goes, dude, let's do taco bar. And I was like, okay, Rachel, this is your one good idea for the year. I'm proud of you for this. So, you know.
And it was food related.
So, it was.
I mean,
so I made like.
She's on point.
Yeah, and I made like a 15-pound thing of carnitas. And then we had other people bring in like ground beef, and somebody did carne asada. And it was like, you had crunchy shells. We had, you know, corn tortillas, flour tortillas. So I had to put on a show. I had to eat 14 tacos that day, bud. It was just like, and it was that like, I couldn't move.
Yeah.
Tara's my wife. She goes, you coming home? I might have to sleep at the gym here for a little bit. Like,
it's
I shouldn't be.
Marathon in itself. Right?
Yeah. I was like, I shouldn't be operating heavy machinery at this point. So, yeah, man, tacos. I can go on with this for a while.
So you recorded how many? Like, how did you know
I probably
you
should
hit
have.
your...
I mean, this is before the whole documentation era. But I think this is bad. This is like MySpace or something.
Okay.
We had, like I think
You
he
and
had an
Tom?
option
You and
for-
Tom
yeah,
from
I mean,
MySpace?
Yeah, he was my friend. You had like this blog entry, and I think I just documented each taco. I could have hung onto the receipts.
Yeah. Well, got receipts.
Yeah. T for taco.
That's Mitch Hedberg.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know when I'd have to
somebody got
prove
it.
that I ate a donut. Yeah.
I have the documentation right here, sir.
Oh man, that's awesome. That's awesome. That's cool, man. Yeah, I love stuff like that, dude. Like, like just out of the box, little challenges, fun shit, dude. That's cool. That's super cool. So let's talk beer. All right, so East Bay Beer Runners. I was telling Mike, I used to be a beer drinker, but I was a shitty beer drinker. Like this stuff, I would have been like, no, give me a Coors Light. Like I was just never into the good beers. So with East Bay Beer Runners, you guys have a wide variety of beer drinkers within the club. Or is everybody kind of into the newer, get all the letters, the IPAs and PFQs and, like
Especially the DFQs.
yeah.
I personally, I am not a beer snob. I think there's a time and a place for everything. I drink my PBRs, Coors Light, whatever. Some of the bigger beer companies, I don't really like what they're doing, but I drink whatever. I don't care. But the club itself, we tend to go in the direction of craft beer. I think that's more of a generation thing. It's actually hard to go to an Oakland not brewery, but a bar and find Coors Light on the menu.
Right.
It's just not available.
Yeah, it's funny how it's kind of changed and shift. Like I still have friends, with the lockdown and everything, but like I was a bartender for years. Okay. And I still have friends who bartend, and that's what they say is like, dude, we don't carry a lot of like domestic.
It's all moved.
Yeah, he's like just the domestic, like he says, the shit beer, but like
maybe one.
Yeah.
Like where I work, it's just Bud Light. That's it. Yeah. No, nothing else close to. And we don't even have good craft beer, but we have all like this anyway. But yeah, Bud Light's like the most mainstream kind of. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's a trip. So
yeah, the other thing is like after you drink 4 of these guys, does it really make a difference anymore? Like you might as well go in the direction of lighter beer.
Right.
It's just, you're not really going to be enjoying the taste. Your palate's wrecked at that point. So anybody that's like 12 beers in and says, oh yeah, I like the hop profile. And it's like, can you tell the hop profile after that many beers? You can't. Just drink whatever at that point.
Yeah, I think my only experience I was telling Mike about, Sierra Nevada has a Bigfoot ale. I don't know if they still make it, but this is probably when I was, I was of age to drink. I think I was about 20, right? So I was a little under, and I went to go over to my buddy's house, and I was maybe had been drinking Coors Lights, in my day and whatever. So he goes, "Hey man, I got a 6-pack of beer. Let's split it." I'm like, you puss? Like, what you doing? We're gonna split a 6-pack? Like, ooh, yeah. So he goes, yeah, it's a Sierra Nevada, and like I cracked this. I remember drinking. I'm like, this is like a combination of like chocolate and mud. Like, I don't know what's happening here.
I might be wrong, but I think that's a barley wine. That's pretty high.
Yeah, and so we each had 3 of these things, and I'm sitting there, and I hadn't gotten up yet, and I'm like, oh, I got to pee. So I stood up to pee, and I was like, oh dear God, what just happened? And it was like I just drank 3 beers, and I'm shit canned.
Right.
Like, yeah, I can understand like the draw to it. Like for me though, like I could never get past that the palatability of the beer. Like it was just too much for me. I think a little too rich. So, so you guys got a diverse palette of drinkers, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I mean, as I mentioned, some people that enter the club are only into running, or the contrary. They're beer drinkers. They just want to get running. So we have the opposite as well, where people are just running. All of a sudden, I'm like, oh no, what have I done to this person? All they're doing is drinking now. I ruined them.
Yeah, man, and look, for me, like I'm gonna support anything that is gonna push somebody to be active, right, and to be fit and to better themselves in that way. And like, hey, man, you want to throw a few beers in the mix, cool, right? Like, I think that's cool. Just as long as you can handle your beers and you're a smart drinker and you're not an asshole.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely push that. Not only just not being an asshole. Part of that is definitely don't drink and drive. You know,
Right.
we that's the last thing we want is somebody leaving our club just wrecked. And
Right.
so we look out for people in that area. You know, it's like, we'll call you a lift. Don't worry. It's a $10 ride. We got you in this. So
Nice.
yeah.
Nice. And that's good, man. And I know that's cool to hear too that you guys are welcoming of people who don't drink. Because like for me, like I quit drinking a few years ago, right? And for me, it was just one of those things. Like I figured, you know, with where I'm at in my life and knowing how I am as a drinker, I'm not that guy that you could sit down and have a beer with. I'm that guy you sit down and have about
12
14.
beers,
Yeah.
Nice.
And, you know, it took me a long time to figure that out. But, you know, I still, you know, it's not like I'm like, oh, my God, you're a drinker. Like, we can't be friends and we can't run, you know. So it's cool to hear, though, that the club welcomes, you know, everybody, both sides, right? And it's kind of bringing people together, which is awesome.
Yeah, I've been on both sides. I mean, there's been plenty of times. It's weird. I like when I want to go run with them. There's been several times where it's one of those stints where I'm not drinking.
Yeah.
And I just stand there. Like,
Right.
Dry January. That's a weird time because there's a lot of people that participate in that. And the guy that owns the bar at the brewery is like, not as many people are drinking tonight. I was like, yeah, it's January. Sorry.
Right. Right.
What does that mean?
they're trying to make up for the mistakes they haven't made yet this
you
year.
know. and then February comes along and they're like, give me 10.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yep. It's funny, man. You see the waves of stuff like that throughout the year, man. It's a trip. We see it here at the gym too. You know, where everybody.
There's got to be a peak of membership, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, yeah. Oh yeah. And you know, it's funny. Like for us, like at the gym. I mean, don't get me wrong. We get new people in January. You always get new people in January. But for us, it seems to be typically now that we're in a lockdown, it's a little different. But for us, it seems to be like we pick up people usually around like October, right? Because kids are back in school, things are starting to settle down, so people start to get like, oh shit, man, I got to get my shit together. You know, like I ain't got no excuses right now. So
it's not necessarily that arbitrary new year, new me. It's more just like, I have time now.
yeah,
Okay.
I have time. I'm a bag of shit, so I should do something with myself. You know.
They've been sitting around for a month. Kids are in school.
Yeah,
Halloween's
yeah.
coming up. Got to work out that candy.
Right. And it's funny, man, because you see, like I said, I see waves of it, you know, and I'm sure you see waves like from people that are coming to participate and like how many people are showing up to run and whatever. And like we hit a dead time usually during the summer. Like this summer's been different. You know, of course, you know, with us doing outdoor classes and stuff, I think people are just itching to do stuff. But usually during like mid-July through beginning of September, like the gym's dead. I'm like, where the hell is everybody? Like,
Right.
You guys are a bunch of turds right now.
They either accepted their fate or they're enjoying whatever work they put in.
Yeah, they're enjoying that last bit of summer, and you know, I mean, I get it. You know, it goes in waves. Kids are gonna go back to school, whatever. Yeah, so it's a little different, like as far as like where we're at. I got a few more questions for you.
Yeah.
All right, so right now things are a little bit different, right? We got the whole pandemic, the shutdown, the lockdown, whatever the hell you want to call it.
Sure.
I know right now you guys aren't hosting events. You guys aren't doing events. What's you know, how have things changed, and like what are your like the members, the people that are part of East Bay Beer Runners? What are they doing right now?
Yeah, it's tough. You know, Tuesday nights are the night that we normally meet. What I have noticed, just, you know, snooping on social media, I think a lot of subgroups have been created. You know, people have their pods or whatever they want to call it. So they're still going out, they're still running, they're still drinking beers. You know, we still meet with, like, I'd say I bring out a group of like maybe 10 people. I think the limit's 12 or whatever. So we'll meet up in Oakland. We'll run around Lake Merritt. And then we'll just post up on the lawn, drinking some beers. Otherwise, I think what I'm mostly trying to do is, you know, occasionally try the charitable angle. One of the days we were out there and we met up with some guys, just coincidentally, they were taking pictures of beers. I'm like, all right, that's not normal. People usually don't take pictures of beers. So I walked up to them like, I see you also like to take pictures of beers. So turns out they just started a brewery. They're called Hello Coastal. And they're the first Black-owned brewery in Oakland. So I was like, yeah, that's great. And introduced myself, who we were and everything. And we had an event with them. Of course, it was socially distanced. Yeah, you know, they don't have a brewery yet, but the goal is to get to that point. So, you know, if we can support them, that's great. That's easy charity. You know, oh, buy your beer? Yeah, we got that. Otherwise, yeah, there's other charities out there like Running for a Better Oakland. They get kids into running. That's not beer related. So yeah, we'll do like virtual runs. That's a popular thing now. So I think we plan to do that pretty soon. Have a virtual run. People can donate optionally whatever they want and channel it over to Running for Better Oakland.
That's awesome. So like with the virtual runs, like that's something, let me know when you're going to do that. Because that's, not just for me, but I would love to tie like our gym community, the cast iron workouts community, just like everybody that, we have, especially like if it's pushing for, charity, a good cause, that's amazing, right? Like I know we've done every year, we do at least one, if not two events like through the gym where,
barbells for boobs.
Barbells for boobs. We've done lift for Lyme disease. We've done
what is it? The battle.
The man, I'm gonna screw Everyday Warrior.
Yeah.
Which is one of my friends, his older brother is one of the founding members of that. It helps. That's when we were still a CrossFit gym. It helps members within the CrossFit community who have cancer that are battling, and so man, that would be awesome. Like if we get help or support in any way,
that'd be great.
Yeah, man, it'd be cool. That'd be cool. And that's the stuff I love to hear, dude. That's the stuff I really like to hear. And that was one of my things is like, future plans for the club. Like what are some of the things you guys want to do? So, right now I think those virtual events, dude, that could be fun. That could be huge.
It came to the realization one day. I was like, all right, this club is actually something. Like, I'm out at a bar and I hear people talking about the Run Club. I'm like, shit, and they don't know I'm there or anything. They don't know who I am, and it's like, maybe I can do something more than getting these guys out drunk on a Tuesday night. So it's charity.
Yeah, that's cool. So, like with the virtual runs, you have any idea of like who you guys would want to raise funds for? Anybody that you'd want to help? Is there anything that sticks out in your mind?
Yeah, the first one we did was right when COVID happened. We're like, all right, we got to get people out there. There's a guy in our run club. He loves to. This is bad. He loves to run phallic shaped routes on Strava. And so you see like this 4-mile donger, just mapped out over Oakland. Yeah,
that's awesome.
We can say his name.
His name's Jake. If you want to follow him, it's pretty funny actually. He kind of mocks the whole influencer angle. It's like Jake.runs.Oakland.
Man,
and he's in his mid 40s, early 40s. I don't know.
I think I sent you one of his videos.
Yeah.
He was doing some workout at home, and of course, it wasn't a workout.
Toilet paper or the Russian.
Yes. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yeah, that dude's funny.
Yeah, so he's funny. Like, I was like, hey, I need a favor. And he crafted this mapped out, So we said, hey guys, run this route and post it on Strava. And if you can, donate to charity. So it was like a COVID relief fund.
Okay.
And raised pretty close to $1,000.
Nice.
People running giant wangs. But so I think we do a lot like what's relevant to the time. Again, Running for a Better Oakland. I'm actually a board member, so I do want to push that one quite a bit because it's kids and get them into running. A lot of these kids are in areas where they might not have as much. It gives them an outlet to do something.
Yeah,
it's good for them.
I got to send them a thank you. They've had me out twice to do the event, play some music for them, and it's cool. All those kids just running around and they're running. They're like pro about their stuff.
They're quick,
because they're training them right throughout the whole process and conditioning them. And
that's awesome.
Then they can get out there and go kill it.
That's awesome. That's what like with Dalton. I got my son. My son's 8.5. He'll be 9 in December, and I got him running. For 3 years now. When he was in kindergarten, they had run club at school, right? So they did it 1 day a week. Or 3 days a week, and did it a little bit in kindergarten. First grade, he's like, I really like this. And he would go, I got to finish my breakfast earlier so I can get to run club, and
nice.
And then last year before lockdown, it was him and his little buddy Eli. And these kids, like, they were the top 2 kids in second grade, like just putting in miles. Like he was, he'd get 20 minutes and he would get running 2 miles. And I'm like, hey man, for those little legs, that's pretty impressive. Him and his boy was running more than him. Like, it's pretty cool, man. It's pretty cool to see. And like for me, like I coached athletics. Coached football. I coached track and field at the high school level. For a long time, and seeing people, influencing kids and getting them involved in things, especially kids that may not have that opportunity without some sort of help or influence is awesome.
Right.
Super awesome, because, the more programs or, events or challenge or whatever the hell you want to call it to help those kids get there, I think is amazing, dude. So that's awesome. Good job, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool to see. So like I said, we talked about some of the changes with COVID. If people wanted to, kind of get in with East Bay Beer Runners, I said, I know right now it's kind of a tough time because, the events aren't there or whatever, but they just kind of wanted to be a part of something, even if it's just online, virtually, right, through following. Do they follow you on Instagram? How do they find out about what y'all are doing?
Yeah, Instagram, Facebook. We have a Strava account. That's a running, cycling, swimming app. I don't know, activity app, I guess you can call it. But yeah, I think Facebook and Instagram is probably the best way. I mean, we even have a group on Facebook that's separate from the actual Facebook page. It's more of a social oriented group. So people can just chime in like, hey, I just want to go for a run around the lake right now. Anybody down to do that? And then they can get people to come out. So, I mean, what was it, a couple nights ago, Mike? We were out there just having some Zoom beers, and we just randomly posted it up. And we're like, hey, anybody want to join us? And there's people I never even met before. They just dial in. I'm like, oh, Tim has joined, whoever Tim is.
Who invited that guy?
Yeah.
Well, come on in, Tim.
Right.
right.
Now we're friends. So, yeah, social media is definitely a good platform. Connect with us even during a time like this.
Are you guys still active on Meetup?
We have the Meetup profile. We're still paying for it and everything. But, we're not actually organizing events. But when they do start up again, hopefully soon enough, definitely join the Meetup group. It's free for people to join it.
Yeah, so January, February, that was still like...
that. Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
Every month we actually... we still schedule the events on there, but we just have to delay it. Okay, well, this is definitely not going away next month. So we delay it a little further.
Cool. So... with the future, who knows what's going to happen, and when events will be able to be open back up, and races, and when you guys will be able to actually have bigger events at breweries and things like that, and be able to host runs. When we get to that point again, right? What's where do you want the club to go?
That's the thing. I definitely want to make it more community focused. Partner with breweries and charities. And, of course, that doesn't mean if you're going to join our club, you better donate. It's everybody's still welcome. It's still a free group. But like I mentioned earlier, we might as well start focusing on giving back a little bit more if we have that large of a group. What was I going to say? We actually, L Industries, it's a brewery in Oakland. And we had something slated they were going to brew a beer for us. And
cool.
It was cool. We had a label, somebody running at Lake Merritt. Proceeds would go to a charity, because L Industries, they're really good. They're really community focused. So they're like, yeah, we're down to do that. You guys come through on a Tuesday night, bring 100 people. How can we say no to that or something? Get our presence known a little bit more. Again, I do this for free, but it's altruism. It's my most altruistic angle that I have. Giving people relationships, and people get married in this club, which is always weird to me. I'm like, sometimes I'm like, actually, maybe you guys, no, dude, don't have a kid.
That was the beer. The beer brought them together.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool, man. So we've talked a lot about the club. For you personally, we talked about your running and your racing and stuff like that, and you said you want to get into maybe do ultras or a ultra. Let's take step one. I don't want to push you into multiple, but what type of distance are you thinking?
Well, I'm actually thinking still focusing on Boston qualifying.
Okay.
So that's age group. I'm 35. It's constantly, you have to get faster and faster. So just because you hit that BQ, the Boston qualifier, it doesn't mean you're going to get in. My last attempt at a marathon, I didn't even finish. I was holding down a pretty solid pace. I had a DNF, did not finish in 19.1. So my friends always just give me shit for it. They're like, hey, you're going to get one of those stickers in your car? And, instead of 26.1, put 19.1 or DNF. I'm like, probably should at this point, get the tattoo. I do want to do a successful fast marathon.
Okay.
Maybe one day, just not so much go for speed, but going the distance, the 31, the ultra distance, whatever. Because, it's nice. You're out on a trail. Because running a marathon on a road, why am I doing this? Why am I just busting my ass for 26 miles?
Right.
Could have driven through this.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I feel that, man. That was the couple 6-hour races I did, like that first one out at Point Pinole. It was cool because it was a 3.5 or 3.6 mile loop. So, and you're along the coast, and you're looking out over the water, and then you're going through some hills, and you're through the eucalyptus trees. Now it beat me up a little bit, like the ups and downs, and but opposed to the second one, like out at Chrissy Field where it's flat and you're running the same mile over and over again, I'm like, I want to blow my brains out right now. Like,
I mean, and that's Chrissy Field. I live in San Leandro. I'm like, oh, there goes that warehouse again. See, they updated their barbed wire. Not nice.
Right. Cool. So, tell me, how did you meet this clown? Like,
Mike.
Yeah. How do you know
Yeah.
Mikey?
So, I'm trying to think about that. I believe he was in a romantic relationship with my now sister-in-law. I think what did we do? Like a Sharks game together or something?
Yeah. I was an idiot. Yeah, that's all I remember.
I mean,
So we were both drinking, and then it was almost like I felt encouraged, but in a good way, like not in a bad way. And looking back on it, I was like, it was all, I don't know. I'm different now, I'll say.
Yeah.
But
I think we dialed it back.
I think I stole it, or I got
some
that,
silverware.
and what else? The
Chimay
Chimay
glasses.
glass. Yeah, Chimay. You
Fancy.
know Chimay? No. So it's this
Belgian.
beer glass.
Uh-huh.
And at the time, there wasn't a ton of craft beer out, right? So Chimay was like this Belgian.
Definitely fancy.
Yeah, and it was like the beer. And so we were in a restaurant, and we took the Chimay glass. Because he collected them.
This
So I
is
was
on
like,
video.
Oh,
now.
okay.
Now we're
Yeah.
getting caught
Hey.
something.
Yeah. What's the statute of limitations for that?
We're still in a pint glass.
it's like Santana Row, right? It's like San Jose,
Yeah.
Santana
Don't say the place, dude. They're gonna come get you.
I'm going to say the day and time.
You can go back watch old video.
I think I had 2 friends working there at the time.
Oh man. Okay. So, cool. So, Mikey, you have any other questions that you want to ask Ramon?
No questions. Just how's everything going? How's the baby?
Yeah, she's what do they call it, a 3-nager. So 3 years old, and just I hope her sass is peaking right now because I don't think I can take any more of this. It's she's not having a teenager yet, so that's troubling.
So you got one.
One kid. I think we're one and done.
That's that. Hey,
Love the hell
Bro.
out of her, but yeah,
I'm with it because that's the same thing with us. Like, I mean, we got started a little bit later, right? So we had Dalton. He was happy, healthy, and we kind of went, oh, yeah, okay, we're cool with that. We're cool with that. That's cool, man. That's cool. So she's 3.
Yep.
Oh, she's active. She's flying everywhere, I'm sure. Like,
We have a pull-up bar in the doorway, and it's funny, she can actually do one.
That's awesome.
She does weigh 5 pounds or whatever.
She's like, I got this.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. So married, you're married. How long you been married?
Actually just celebrated the 10-year anniversary this past May.
Right on. Congratulations.
By millennial standards, thank you. Yeah, that's a long time. Getting married at 25, I guess that's relatively early for our generation, Mike, right?
Yeah.
Your generation. I mean,
didn't
come
do
on, guy. Hey, you see how Mike looked at me like, yeah, our generation. Mike, you said ours, not yours, you old
Did you hear
bastard.
I mean, I'm on the brink of being Gen X, I think. I don't know. Just-
Mike, give me a look like, no,
I think-
you're not in this group.
I think the millennial thing is more, it's not necessarily an age thing. I mean, look at Jake. That guy's, like I said, 44, 43, I don't know. And he's out there doing those rope exercises with toilet paper. And he has to document it.
It is kettlebell. I don't remember what he used, but
Maybe like a 12-pack or something. I don't know.
something.
That's awesome. That is awesome, man. Cool, man.
Jake was here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he was with you?
Yeah, it's part of my entourage,
He had a crew.
Ramon rolled up. He had somebody open the door for him. I was like, oh, this dude's big time, Mike. You didn't tell me. Like, we had royalty coming in.
He had a posse.
I figure Mike, works at a radio station or whatever, and he's used to it. So,
All right, so last thing I got for you, Ramon, before we let you off the hook here, bro. What kind of beer are you drinking today?
we'll see. Mike provided the first beer, which is Einstock, which is Icelandic white ale, which delicious, but also a cellar maker out of San Francisco. They're probably doing some of the best stuff in the Bay Area. It's called Wicked Juicy IPA. So it's one of those hazy IPAs, 7%, not too bad, for 9 a.m.
Yeah.
Not too bad for getting the day started, right?
Yeah, I got my run in, so.
Okay.
It's a
Okay.
trip, man. Beer's changed even since, because I was into all that IPA stuff, you know, and I went back to the bottle shop in San Leandro by Bayfair, and they've always had the best selection of beer that you really can't find in too many other places. It's changed so much the past 5 years or so, and I got lost. I was like, I'm in the right area, but I don't recognize any of these labels. They all look like that now.
Right. I'm just looking for one alcohol,
cans.
please. Yeah.
Like the bottles, you know, there used to be like these really cool fancy bottles.
Right. It's all canned up.
Now it's all cans. It's crazy.
That's a trip, man. The evolution.
Yeah.
The evolution of
No,
beer.
it was. I was
Yeah,
like, I
people
don't know
used
what to
to-
grab. Everything is like hemp infused and
Right,
hazy.
get that CBD in
yeah,
there.
Yeah.
Right.
I was like, all right.
That's a trip, dude. That's a trip. What's your favorite beer? Right now, at least. What's your favorite beer to drink?
You know, as far as breweries go, I really do like Cellar Maker. They're still local in the other side of the bridge and everything, but I think they consistently put out some pretty good product. There's stuff a couple hours away. You go to like Moxa, Slice, and it's just hard to get because they don't really have distribution, so you have to drive 2 hours to get beer. And sometimes I'm like, what am I doing? You know, but, overall, yeah, I just do enjoy a good hazy IPA.
Okay. Mikey, what about you?
I don't know. I don't drink enough anymore to have a favorite.
Okay.
I don't know. I'll go try something that I haven't had before.
Okay.
But favorite? Nah.
I got one more question for Ramon.
It's your
Favorite kind of taco?
favorite kind of taco?
Yeah, bro. Give me the details because I'm starting to get hungry right now. So
Yeah, me too. Maybe, I just like a classic street taco from a truck. That 500 thing, most of those were like Jack in the Box tacos, which that was a different time. We all grow as people. And so,
you talk about like palate, right? And how your palate has changed and like
It has
changed with
shifted quite
beer.
a bit,
But
right.
yeah, the taco palate has changed as
like
well.
I said, there's a time and a place, so I'm not going to turn away a Jack in the Box taco at 3 a.m. But I like a solid street taco. You can't go wrong. There's trucks all over Oakland. You can pick them up.
What are we going with? Carne asada? Are we going with carnitas?
Carne asada for sure, yeah.
Okay. Mikey, I'm going to let you answer this one too.
Lengua.
Oh, actually, you're right,
Lengua.
because not every truck has lingua on the menu. Too,
Lengua's off the
so,
hook.
Yeah.
Have you had?
Oh yeah, so
Okay,
there's so I used to eat a taco. Well, okay, let me give you a little bit of Mexican food history with Darrell. Darrell used to eat, like, no joke, I would eat it at minimum one super burrito a day.
Nice.
So there was a taco truck in Fremont and La Esmeraldas, and the super burritos were literally from my elbow, if I close my hand,
Yeah.
to my knuckle, right? Like that long, that big, and they had lengua. And dude, I would crush these things.
You ever gone to
Crush them.
Iguanas?
Yes.
San Jose.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got the Godzilla.
Yeah. I tried to mess with it, dude. It crushed
Nah,
me.
yeah.
Yeah, the thing put me under.
What is it, like 4 feet or something?
No, it's not that big. It's this, probably about the same size, but like the one that I would get from Esmeraldas was like thickness wise, was probably like the thickness of my wrist. The one from Iguanas was like,
You need to lay that down.
bro, it would, the only thing I can compare it to was holding my kid when he was first born. I was like, oh, this thing is massive. Like I tried to mess with it one
Yeah.
day and I probably got halfway through. So they had one in San Jose.
Yeah.
And they opened up a second location in Fremont when I still lived in Fremont.
Okay.
And as soon as like that, dude, I would drive by there like every other day. I'm like, they open it? They open it? Because they just had a sign like iguanas coming
Yeah,
soon.
yeah,
And I'm like, open your damn doors. Like I'm ready to eat, bro. So, cool. So Lengua. Okay. You got a special spot? Either one of you guys? Like, I know you mentioned a bunch of trucks. You
I've
got
actually been on a quesadilla kick. So, I mean, it's like a taco. You know what that is?
Yeah.
So, there's a place in Richmond. That's what they're known for. Places in Fruitville. I mean, really, I'm just trying different quesadilla places. I even went to a couple houses in like deep East Oakland. They're just selling it out the front door. I'm like, this might be questionable.
Well, that's my boy.
Oh, really?
Boy,
You
El
probably went to his place.
Pulpo
Yeah.
Cora,
Right.
over on 82nd.
Right.
He is the head chef at Paradiso, where I work in San Leandro. He's worked as in the staff in Boulevard in San Francisco, super high end Boulevard, and so he started making his own. And so he's got, I think, better. You need to go check him out if you're hitting up those houses.
Natalia's the one that really drives. My wife drives a lot of this.
Okay.
And, she looks on Instagram. She goes, "Yeah, somebody just sent me a DM that there's like some
All right.
quesadilla at this garage." I'm like, "That sounds safe." Yeah, let's do it.
No, there was like, so I was trying to make some stuff for him, or, I was filming some things for him, and 2 cop SUVs pull up right in front of his house. They're not tripping on, it looks like a restaurant in the driveway.
Right.
They're not worried about it. There's somebody doing something sketch down the street, and Juan just goes outside. Like, all right, he goes back to work.
Bro, I thought you were gonna say the cops were pulling up to eat, bro. Like they're stopping for lunch.
I mean, they were looking like they were hungry, but they were on business.
Yeah,
Things to handle in that part of town.
Right.
But it was just a trip. But yeah, Pulpo Cora in East Oakland on 82nd, Juan Jaquez.
Nice.
Yeah, man, and he started doing that queso birria thing, but then he did it with lengua.
Oh, shit.
And
Game changer.
with mole. So that's
Killer.
probably my favorite right now.
Killer, yeah.
But Gordos in San Leandro, and then their High Street one is even better. It's just a little further. Yeah, I could go on and on with my spots, because then every spot is really good at different meats.
Right, and dude, that was my thing. Like with super, like when I used to eat super burritos, like somebody's like, "How do you eat that every day?" I'm like, "You know how many damn taquerias there are around here, and how many damn taco trucks there
How
are?"
do
Like,
you not eat that every day?
right? Like, I mean, dude, I could eat at a different one every day for a month and just be within my city or the city next to me and just be happy.
Yeah.
Like just be happy. But there's a reason why I got up to 240 pounds at one time too. Like, super
Just cultivating mass, right?
bro, I was Mac
Stored energy.
from straight up, dude. From It's Always Sunny. I'm like, I'm cultivating mass. I'm getting huge because at that point in my life,
I mean, look at that guy now, though. He's
right?
shredded.
Yeah, Mac's ripped. But yeah, I mean, I told that story on one of the podcasts. Like, that was my goal at that time. Like, get as big as possible and lift as much weight as possible. I didn't care about anything
That's
else.
what you guys were doing, right? You guys were working out.
That's
and then
all
you
I
guys
was doing.
But I mean, like you said you were living with friends. And
Oh, yeah,
you
yeah,
guys
yeah.
were- You said like 4.
So
Say 4
on my
super
day
burgers?
off. So
Okay.
on my day off, that was prior to being at my heaviest. That was on the way there. This is when me, Colin, and Chad lived together, we had Super Taco in Fremont, right? And Super Taco was my jam, dude. There's killer grilled chicken. Anyways, we'd all have the same day off in the middle of the week. It was like on Wednesdays was like one of our days off. And, I was bartending or waiting tables at night, and we would go to Super Taco in the morning. They open at 9. We go in there and get 4 super burritos each. That was going to be what we ate that day. And then we'd go get some 40s and Mickeys, and then we'd get our wiffle ball bat and our wiffle balls, and we'd sit in the front yard and play wiffle ball and drink 40s and eat burritos like until it got dark.
Sounds like a good time.
Right? No, I mean that was the routine, dude. That was the routine on the days off. Yeah.
It's the new Wednesday night club.
Yeah, that's a secret, Mike. Shut up.
Yeah. Hey man, I got that's an East Bay wiffle ballers. There you go, man. We're gonna start creating spin-off subcategories here from East Bay beer runners.
Oh, it's already happening. I'm like, hey, how come I wasn't invited?
Just send me an invite, bro. Just send me an invite. Well, cool, man. Ramon, man, I appreciate you being here today, man, and it just being a good sport and answering all of our questions, and kind of letting people know all about East Bay beer runners and what you guys are doing, dude. And I think it sounds like you guys are doing some cool stuff. And like I said, man, with the stuff that you guys are talking about doing in the future, we'd be love to be a part of it and, help out in any way we can, so.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. Thanks, Darrell. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure. If you guys have any questions for us or even any questions for Ramon, you guys can definitely email castironworkouts@gmail.com. You can ask us questions on Instagram, Facebook. We can kind of help you direct you guys to their social media platforms. You check them out, East Bay Beer Runners. Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you guys for checking this out. Don't forget to like us and follow us on Instagram and Facebook. We don't
Not
have
Twitter.
Yeah,
Not Twitter.
hey, shut up,
dude. Twitter.
Last week he said Twitter. And
Yeah, last week I said Twitter.
Generational
Dude,
line.
like I've never had a Twitter.
If you drop TikTok, I'd be like, don't air this.
No, we don't mess with that TikTok. We don't mess with Twitter either. But for some reason, I was like, yeah, check us out on Twitter. I was like, wait, what? No.
Everybody else says it. Why don't we say it?
Yeah, that was exactly it too. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. You guys can find our podcast there on YouTube. You can find us on Apple Podcasts and on SoundCloud.
Give us a review, please.
Yeah, give us a
Write
review. That helps us a lot. If you like the way the show is produced, don't tell Mike. That's all I got for you guys today. Don't forget to check out castironworkouts.com for some cool programming of workouts. And what else, Mikey? Am I forgetting anything?
I don't think you got it.
I'm dialed in today, bro. You know what it is?
You got the email?
You know what it is? Who's not here?
Rachel Snyder.
Oh man! All right, guys. Thanks for checking us out again today, and we'll see you guys soon. Bye. Awesome, Ramon. Thanks, man.